Well, coming up next is we're going to turn our focus to a bill where the coalition won Senate support, overturning Labor's automated aged care assessment system after concerns an algorithm was being used to determine the level of care older Australians receive. So the government insists there is human oversight, but has also acknowledged the system needs improvement. Shadow Health and Aged Care Minister Ruston joined me earlier. Senator, it's great to see you. I do want to start off, if you could please just tell us about the bill that was supported in the Senate regarding Labor's automated aged care assessment system.
Well, Jamie, as you and I have discussed before, without any trials, without any testing, the government changed its position in relation to aged care assessments. And currently, a computer-generated algorithm actually determines older Australians' aged care needs and the priority with which they get that care. And we thought that was absolutely unacceptable. So the bill that we put through the Parliament a couple of weeks ago, or through the Senate, and got the support of everybody but the government, is to reinstate a human has to be the person, or has to be the one that makes the ultimate decision about the care needs and the priority of access to that care for older Australians.
And what has the response been from the government to this bill?
Well, it's almost been crickets, really. I mean, they've been completely dismissive of a mountain of evidence, hundreds and if not thousands of older Australians coming forward expressing their concerns expressed by professionals like the Inspector General of Aged Care, the Ombudsman. I mean, the government has had so much evidence to suggest that their aged care algorithm is flawed. You would think they would have taken more notice, but they've done very little apart from a couple of bits and pieces tinkering around the edges. But we know the algorithm is flawed, and we know it's determining aged care needs at a level that is inadequate for older Australians. So basically their response has been completely and utterly inadequate.
And some of those numbers, which I think highlights that it is a flawed system, are things like 100,000 older Australians are waiting for an assessment, and review requests up nearly sixfold in just a single year. So that should tell us straight away that the government isn't handling these reforms properly.
Good day, Australia. Picture this. You're 92 years old, you've fallen twice this month, and the government has decided the safest way to work out how much care you need is a robot. No doctor, no nurse, no human being who's ever met you, just an algorithm crunching numbers somewhere in Canberra, deciding whether grandma gets help this year or waits until she's practically bionic. Sounds like dystopian fiction, doesn't it? Except it is happening right now, and Shadow Health and Aged Care Minister Ruston is not having a bar of it. Quick favour before we dive in, if you're finding this channel useful, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. Over 90% of you watching haven't yet, and it genuinely helps Australian Signal keep holding these people to account. Costs nothing, takes a second. Cheers if you did. Now, back to the robot uprising.
The alarm bells have been ringing for a very long time. We've been raising it for a very long time, and the government has just been dismissive. But I think one of the most horrific things that we've found out is that less than 0.1% of older Australians who are assessed as needing care are given a high priority, which means that 99.9% of older Australians are being told that they're having to wait 10 to 12 months to get the care that they've been assessed as needing. Now, I don't know about you, but I can honestly say that it is completely and utterly impossible that only 0.1% of older Australians who need care need it with some level of urgency. So the government has just got so much wrong, whether it be the wait times for getting assessment, the wait times to get the care, the lack of prioritisation of older Australians with really significant care needs. I mean, everything this government is doing in aged care looks like they're trying to protect their budget bottom line, not provide care to older Australians.
Senator, there's a few other things I wanted to talk to you about tonight, and one of those is Telstra, who have been warned that it can face now a $30 million penalty for that outage, which seems quite insignificant when you think about how high their profit is. How do you think this saga has been handled by both Telstra but also from what you've seen out of the government?
Oh, look, the government has been missing in action when it comes to telecommunications for quite some time. I mean, it took the minister 7 months after the Optus outage last year to actually bring into effect some stricter regulation in relation particularly to the 000 access number. And, you know, every step of the way you've found this minister wanting when it actually comes to doing her job as the communications minister. But in relation to, you know, the fines, the courts are able to issue much higher fines than the one that you've referred to, but obviously that's subject to prosecution. But I think all Australians are sitting here at the moment and wondering why the government hasn't been faster to move, why the government has had repeated instances where O has gone down because of our telcos not being, you know, misfunction in the telcos, and yet the government doesn't really seem to be doing anything with any great urgency.
Now, I know this next topic is not in your portfolio. It's actually Dan Tehan's, but I think the Liberals right now have a very good opportunity to come out with a really great nuclear energy policy, and it's just off the back of the announcement of that uranium deal with India. Because I think it just really highlights the hypocrisy that we're able to power India and provide them uranium so that they can get cheaper, cleaner, reliable energy, but we can't use it here for us. Do you know when the energy policy will be announced?
So here's the guts of it. Labor rolled out an automated algorithm to assess aged care needs. And get this, it was never properly trialled first. Not tested, not piloted, just switched on and let loose on some of the most vulnerable people in the country. And the results speak for themselves. Right now, roughly 100,000 older Australians are stuck waiting for an assessment. Requests for review have shot up nearly sixfold in a single year. And here's the kicker. Fewer than 0.1% of people are being flagged as high priority. That means practically everybody is being told to sit tight for 10 to 12 months. If you think your internet provider's hold music is bad, try waiting a year for the care that keeps you out of hospital.
Yeah, well, I think you make a really good point. It seems absolutely ludicrous that our government, Anthony Albanese's Labor government, is quite happy to sell our uranium to India so that they can use it in their civil and domestic energy grid. And yet, as we sit here today, they are maintaining a ban of even investigating the viability, the financial viability of nuclear energy as part of our energy mix in Australia. So you're absolutely right. It's hypocritical, it's ludicrous, and it's denying Australians the value of something that is in the ground here. But we have already made it very clear that in government we would remove the moratorium or remove the ban and allow the market to make the determination if they think that nuclear energy is a viable part of an energy mix to provide us with, as you say, reliable, affordable, clean energy going into the future. We shouldn't be worried about where it's coming from. We should just be worrying about people's power bills, people's household power bills and businesses' power bills. And in the process of doing that, keep that affordable, reliable, but low emissions future as the target that we're looking for. We shouldn't be worrying about where that energy is coming from.
So, what did the opposition do about it? They actually got something through the Senate, a bill to put humans back in charge of the final call, backed by every party except the government itself. Even Labor's own crossbench mates weren't buying the robot routine. And the government's response? A bit of tinkering around the edges, while the Aged Care Inspector General and the Ombudsman keep waving red flags nobody in Canberra seems interested in reading. And finally, nuclear energy, the policy equivalent of eating the cake but refusing to bake one. Australia happily exports uranium to power reactors overseas, including a recent deal with India, yet won't even allow feasibility studies into nuclear power at home. Ruston says that's not principle, that's just contradiction with a nice PR team. The Coalition's position? Scrap the domestic ban, let the market work out whether nuclear stacks up on cost, reliability and emissions, rather than ruling it out on ideology alone. Aged care, telecommunications, energy policy. Three very different portfolios, one very consistent theme. A government moving slower than dial-up internet, while everyday Australians pay the price. Thank you for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.